Hi, and welcome to a video about how to get started on the Python Mongo project for our class. Uh, this is the Mongo starter.py code that's available in Canvas. It's basically a functioning Python Mongo program, but you need to fill in the missing parts. I'm going to go through an example of how to fill in one function to do an OR query, and you can use that as a guide, I think, for creating the other functions that you need to do. So if you look at the bottom, this program is complete and it should run as is. So I'm going to go ahead and run it now and make sure that it runs. So I'm going to do it. Now, if you're running this under PyCharm or some other environment, you might need to start it differently. This is the way you can start it under Visual Studio Code or in a terminal window. I used the Python 3 command because that makes sure I'm running Python 3.8 instead of Python 2. something, which is installed on my Mac. And it ran correctly because it retrieved one and only one crime report from the cloud database. There it is. It was a hit and run. It was on the 25th of August in last year, and it was located on Old Cheney Highway. So that's one example of a document from a collection in the Mongo Cloud database. We're going to go ahead and add to this program, and your job is to complete some additional methods up here that will enable you to do other kinds of queries that return more than one record. Here's an example. If doing an OR query. Now, an OR query works exactly like an OR in a programming language. If one thing or the other, or both, are true, then it will give back the record. So now the Python Mongo syntax looks intimidating until you understand it. But once you understand that all you're doing when you call Mongo from Python is building up a Python data structure using dictionaries, which are built into Python, and lists, which are built into Python. And when you construct the correct dictionary of lists, you pass that to Mongo. Mongo will do the query and give you back a bunch of results. And then we have to loop through or iterate through the results. So to start, let's make a variable called query. Now, every query in Mongo, or in Python Mongo, is actually a dictionary. So when you see these two characters, left brace and right brace, in Python, you should immediately think dictionary. Remember, the important thing about dictionaries is that they are key value pairs. You give a key, colon, and a value, and when you go into the dictionary to create an entry in the dictionary, and once you go into the dictionary later, you can pull back the value using the key. So that's the first part. Now inside this, we're going to need also an array or a list, which is really the same thing in Python. Those use the square brackets. So let's look at creating a variable, or rather a query expression in here. So first of all, it's an OR expression, and there's a built-in $OR, which is special to Mongo and not to Python. That means, oh, hey, do one of these or the other. Now, I've got to put quotes around this for Python's benefit, because otherwise Python will think that's a very strange variable name. So OR is the key. So that's the key in this dictionary. The value that follows the OR is going to be a list of attributes to match. So to make a list, you need to type which characters. Think about it for a second. Square brackets. So this is a list inside a dictionary. The key is OR, and the value is a dictionary with a list of stuff in it. That stuff is going to be the values that tell Mongo which documents to retrieve. So we need a dictionary here. So we need another pair of braces. And in that, we need a key. So the key is the name of one of those attributes from the database. So there's description, DESC, entry underscore time, location. Let's do description, the easy one, DESC. So the key is going to be DESC. Of course, it has to be in quotes for Python. And the value is going to be, well, we know there's at least one hit and run in there. So let's look for hit and run. And case is significant. So in order to match, it's got to be typed the same way as it is in the database. Okay, so right now our OR only has one thing. It's just find all the hit and runs. It's not really an OR. It's just a find. But if we add here, in the list we're creating, another dictionary, we can add another key value pair. And we can add another description, which is followed by another crime. And I think if I spell this right, how about burglary? I think I spelled that right. I hope I spelled that right. So, and this could all be inside curly braces. So if I type this right, and we'll find out in just a minute, what it means is, here's the query. It's a dictionary. The key in the dictionary is OR, $OR. That tells Mongo, okay, we're going to need to OR two things together. The value is a list, that's the square brackets, containing two dictionaries, one of which has a key description with the value hit and run, the other of which has a key description with a value of burglary. So the result is if either one of those is found in a document, that document will be returned. Now, in order to actually run the query, we have to call Mongo. We have to pass that information to Mongo. So, and we have to get back a result. So I'm going to say result gets call. That's the collection. That's the table, if you will, that has the crimes in it, crime reports in it. Dot find, and I'm going to give it query. So I'm going to tell it to use that query, pass that query to Mongo, and find all the resulting documents. And let's just see. I want to add a print here. This is not complete yet. I'm going to print result. Let's see what we get. Get rid of the pass. That's just a filler. Okay, so now we constructed the query. We ran the query against Mongo with the find. Now we're going to print the result. Now result is not what we want yet, and you'll see, but it should be something. It should not be null. Also, we have to go down here, and I had commented out, we have to tell our Python program to actually run the OR example. So right under the print OR example, whoops, didn't do that. I want to save this and try running the terminal and see what happens. Cross your fingers. Ooh. We didn't get an error. That's a good start. And what we got back is this thing called a cursor. We got a pymongo cursor.cursor. That's because the OR example we did returns not just one document, but a whole collection of documents, a whole array of documents, a list of documents. So if we want to see the documents that came back, we can't just print the name of the array, the name of the collection, which is cursor. We have to actually loop through the cursor, fetching each individual document and printing it. Now, fortunately, that's super easy in Python. Just need a for loop. So for crime, call it whatever you want, in result, colon. That says go through the collection result that's returned one crime at a time, grabbing one crime at a time out. Then if we will use the PP print, which means pretty print, which makes, if you don't use this, all your JSON will be one big long line. It'll be impossible to read. This breaks it up and prints it on multiple lines. And we want to print the particular crime. We want to get rid of this, our testing debugging here. Okay, so that says build a query, run the query, fetch the results one document at a time, print the document. We'll save that and we'll try our luck again by running it. Clear the previous results. And if you scroll back, there's a lot of results this time, right? There's a hit and run. There's a hit and run. There's a hit and run. Should be a burglary in here somewhere. Unless I spelled it wrong. Hit and run. Hit and run. I know there's a burglary in here somewhere, folks, but the OR's working. So you can look through the data, and which you just do a find. It'll spit out all the data in the database in a big long stream. Find a couple of particular crime report types that you want to look at, and put them in your OR. That's how it works. The AND is very, very similar, except instead of $OR, you've got $AND, and that means that both this dictionary and this dictionary must be true. Now, if I put an AND here, it's not going to return any documents. If you think about that for a while, you'll realize because each report is either is only for one kind of crime. So it's either hit and run, or it's burglary, or it's something else. You can't say it's got to be hit and run and a burglary, because that would be two separate reports. So for AND, you probably got to do like pick a description and then pick a location or something. And you'll get only that crime report when it occurs in that location. That's basically what you have to do. And that would get you through a number of these examples. So try this and post as you have problems or challenges in doing so. Thanks a lot.